Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday and time for Take 5, so let's get right to it. We've been recapping the message from Sunday, and this was our 7th or 8th installment of our Back to Basics series. And we're talking about the story of Joshua and Jericho. The Israelites march around the city of Jericho where the walls came down. The title of the message Sunday was The Circle of Faith. The Circle of Faith. And yesterday we spent a lot of time talking about this and kind of setting it up and putting ourselves in the story and trying to kind of feel and figure out what Israel must have been feeling like. To just be walking in circles again after they spent 40 years walking in circles in the wilderness. Here they are again feeling like they're not making progress, like they're not gaining ground, like they should be capturing the city, but they're not. They should be conquering their promised land, but instead they're just walking in circles. Yesterday, towards the end of our little time together, I said the short version of our answer, of our response, when we feel like we're stuck in life, when we feel like we're spinning our wheels spiritually or financially or in our careers or in our marriages or relationships or whatever area of life. I shared yesterday that our response when we feel stuck should be that when we don't know what to do what we know to do. When we don't know how to get unstuck, when we feel like whatever we do, we always end up back where we started, we always end up in the same cycle, the same circle of life. When we don't know what to do to get unstuck, do what we know to do. The rest of this week, we're going to kind of unpack that a little bit and talk about the long version of that answer. And today, we're going to talk about the first thing that you and I have to do to while we're still in that cycle, while we still feel like we're stuck, when we don't know how to get unstuck, the one thing that we can do, or one of the things we can do in the process, is obey. Just simple, just obey. Now, yesterday Sunday I spent quite a bit of time sharing with you a personal example in my life of how I feel stuck in this one area of my life and how I have learned through that, how I can certain things that I should be doing in this season. I'm not going to take the time to share that with you again. If you were in kids' church or the nursery and you missed out and you know that you want to kind of piece the puzzle together, go ask somebody that was there and I'm sure they'll tell you. But when we look at this story with Israel, I'm sure they felt like they were just walking in circles. They found themselves after 40 years of walking in the wilderness. Here they are circling the city of Jericho again. It would have been easy for them to after a day or 2 or 3 days of walking circles around the city of Jericho, to think, what are we doing? Let's take matters into our own hand. Let's go fight. Let's draw our swords. Let's pull back our bows. Let's get our spears and our shields ready. Let's go and let's fight and let's conquer this thing. But Israel, after years and years of us talking about all the mistakes that they have made through their Exodus journey, they finally made at least one right decision in this story, because they didn't do any of that. God told Joshua, the leader of Israel, to walk around the city, and Joshua said to the Israelites, that's what we're going to do. And do you know what the Israelites did? They just obeyed. I'm sure they didn't understand why they were walking circles around the city. I'm sure that there were most of them that thought they knew a better way to conquer the city. I am sure that they were talking amongst themselves, and I'm sure they were scheming and strategizing and asking each other, what are we doing? But they didn't act on any of those impulses, those thoughts, those feelings. They just obeyed God. And when you and I find ourselves in these seasons of life, in the circle of life where we feel like we're stuck in whatever area of our life, when we feel like we're spinning our wheels, like we can't make progress, like we'll never get out of this cycle, the one thing that we can do is obey God's last command and obey His Word, the Bible. We can do that without a doubt. When we don't know how to get out of the cycle, when we don't know how to get unstuck, the one thing we can do is just be obedient. That's what Israel did, and the ultimate consequence of that, the thing that was that the walls collapsed and they were able to go in and capture the city. But as they walked around, they didn't disobey. They just obeyed what God said to do. So if you feel like you're stuck in your life today, if you feel like you are just making circles, you're not making any progress in some facet, some area of your life, and you don't know how to get unstuck, do this one thing today. Just be obedient to God's last command and to His word. And if you can do that, you can make it through this circle, this cycle of life, the circle of faith. Have a great day today. I'll see you again right here tomorrow morning on Take 5.